one person that actually asked me for that offered me $250 to touch my ear for 2 minutes. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Keepin It Real. My name is Kimberly.
And my name is Sherry.
And on my right we have...
I'm Matilda.
I'm Yongkang.
And on my left...
I'm gorgeous.
I'm TikTok Ama.
And today...
You're gorgeous.
I'm not gorgeous, man.
But you must say your name.
My name is handsome.
And today we're talking about living standards. So Sherry, you know how everyone is saying how living in Singapore is so expensive, right? What's your take on that?
I think that living in Singapore is pretty expensive, with cars and the inflation of real estate and everything is getting more and more expensive. Even getting a car in Singapore is ridiculous. Just for that certificate you have to pay 100K for
What?
a
I thought
freaking
it's 5
certificate.
digits.
It's crazy. And because I grew up in Canada, 20K I can get a Honda Civic.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't even need a freaking cert.
Oh, don't need the piece of paper.
Yeah.
I think in Singapore we all need piece
It's
of
so
paper.
ridiculous. It's not the 100K is not even inclusive of the car.
Okay, let's hear
So-
from our panelists. Matilda, do you have any take on this? How living standards in Singapore is so expensive?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with the car thing. It's 100K now to just own a piece of paper to say that you can own a car, which is ridiculous because you're right. I used to live in New York. New York also is a really expensive place to own a car, but if you go to Virginia, you can get a car for 20K can get you a Honda Civic, and I understand why we have to do that in Singapore, but it's because we have land issues and I know that trying to there are too many cars on the road and everything, but there comes a point that is so is our generation, are we ever going to be able to afford a car when it's going to set us back at least 200K? Yeah.
And that's right. And what about Yongkang?
Yeah, I agree. I think growing up, when you are still in primary school, you everything is subsidized. And you don't realize how expensive traveling even by public transport is in Singapore. And only when you grow up and I just finished uni, and then now we're paying adult fee. You're oh god.
That's heart pain. When you shift from student to adult fare, heart pain. Heart pain.
Yeah. And what about you, Ashton?
About car, I can't even drive yet.
It's okay, I can drive.
Your bicycle. What about the bicycles?
Bicycle. Honestly, I don't even know the price because my brother built my bike for me. Usually, I walk with my legs.
That's free.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah, it's free. And Amma, do you used to drive?
Yeah, I do drive, but I have never problem with whatever money you gotta pay because I don't pay. My husband pays.
That's why you get a rich husband.
Problem
Just
solved.
get to
Yeah.
drive.
Rich.
Yeah. So that doesn't really bother me.
So I guess we all come to agree that living in Singapore is super expensive, right? Even I have my friends that whenever I ask them out to go out for dinner and stuff, they'll be oh, I used to be in FAS, I can't afford for this type of thing. And do you agree with that as well?
Yeah, I think everything is going up. I think Taiwan last time used to be pretty cheap. At least maybe $2.30 you can get two veg, one meat or something like that. Now it's at least 5 something.
Yeah, I remember I paid for Cai Peng and $8.
And the most ridiculous one is at MBS. You pay $16 for Cai Fan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But that's
you paid
MBS though.
You paid $16 for
Yeah.
Cai Fan.
Yeah, because I used to work at MBS at a particular place, and then I had to go eat at the food court there, and one fried rice and one meat is $8.
$8.
It's so ridiculous.
It's crazy.
And the fact that I think the most shocking thing for me was going to Starbucks and a grande is almost $10.
Huh? Now?
Yeah.
Actually, I want to ask.
It's crazy.
You drive. Do you think there's an increase in COE price? No, not COE. ERP. Is it very expensive to
ERP
drive?
and COE very different.
I don't know, ERP, the usage on the road, right? Is there a huge increase from the past to now?
You're talking to me?
Yeah. TikTok
There's only one Amma here.
ERP? I thought we are talking about food.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Okay. Talking about food, actually, in Singapore, no matter how expensive food is, no one starves. Everybody can afford. So if you think it's too expensive, you can go for something else. You think
Yeah,
Starbucks is
true.
expensive, don't go into Starbucks.
That's true though.
Go to the coffee shop. You still can
I
get
haven't been to
coffee,
Starbucks in
right?
years, like-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you think restaurants are expensive, go to hawker centers.
Yeah,
Go
I
to
think
coffee shop.
At
Yeah.
least Singapore, we have this choice of like going to like a coffee shop, hawker center, food court. Like there's a wide variety to choose from. But like for me, I grew up in Canada. Like we have no coffee shop. Like the most we have is like food court, and food court is like $8-9. That's the cheapest we can get, and it's like really unhealthy, like oily Chinese food. You know what I'm talking about, like those like sesame chicken and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Hey,
I
but I
definitely
thought
agree,
today we
yeah.
are talking about living standard in Singapore, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like we're saying that in Singapore it's still high, but I think it balances out as well. Like how like food is, we can get like cooked food for like cheaper price as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if worst come to worst, you can just go and buy and cook at home. It's even cheaper.
True.
You know what I mean? There is a way out. There is a way out. No matter how high the standard is, no one starves. You know. And also I believe that work, you have to work. Once you work, you have income, you can afford. You know. So I think living standard, even if it goes up, nobody dies.
Okay, then moving on to that, right, to that topic. Because you're the oldest among all of us, right?
Yes.
So we want to know how the living standard has evolved over time.
Sad to say that the things, commodity things, food and all that, the price has increased by maybe more than 50%, but salary wise no 50%. I think the increase maybe 20%, 20 to 30%. So, but still, how we manage our money is very important. Yeah, we can manage. Learn to be thrifty. We don't have to go to restaurant and eat every day. Only, of course, we want to pamper ourselves once in a while. Birthdays, occasions, Mother's Day or Father's Day or whatever, we go and eat expensive food. Normal day, we don't have to. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Then Amma, you know when like last time, right, when your first job, right, if you were to compare to how you're going to be paid last time and now, how much difference would that make?
My first job, I was paid $600. The very first job I got, then slowly increased until I think later on, I was drawing like 3,000. Then I got my grandson coming, going to be born. So my daughter said, "Mommy, stop work and take care of him." Sure, I quit my job and took care of him. I stopped work for about 4 years to take care of my 2 grandsons. Yeah.
Wow, sacrifices. We respect that.
So what do you think is the difference between like 20 years ago and 20 years now?
We are talking about salary wise.
Like maybe living standards from before.
Living
and now.
standard.
Like has it affected you? Like maybe your wage and like.
Okay, actually, what I feel is the living standard just doesn't go up overnight. It's a gradual thing. So you somehow you live with it. You adapt lah. You adapt. It's not like today cai fan is like $2. The next day it's become $10. No, it gradually. So we follow the trend. So, well, our government is very smart. Even like GST,
Yeah.
At first, they increase,
Yeah,
then
it's
everybody is
so
going to make noise. You know what our late Prime Minister said, our beloved Mr. Lee Kuan Yew? He said it's a matter of time when the people get used to it. You see, we got used to it, what? 5% you make noise, 7%, now 8% we also got used to it. What? Yeah, we also get used to it, yeah. So that's how living standard goes and how people get used to it. Yeah.
Okay, I see. So Yao and Matilda, how do you think our social and environmental factors affect living standards in Singapore?
When you say social factors, you mean like how we conduct our everyday like.
Yeah, like going out
Right.
with your friends.
Oh, I don't think I've like something even when you're like when what you said like when you're a student, sometimes you get allowance and you don't actively think like student ticket last time to see movie is like what $6-7, and then now an adult ticket to see a movie can be like on the weekend it's going to be like $20, and so like you hold back because you're like, do I need to spend $20 to see like the latest Marvel movie when I know in 3 months it's going to be on Disney Plus, which I pay for already, So I think that whole idea of like, oh, let's go see a movie this weekend with your friends, you know, that spontaneity is kind of, I do think about it again, you know, just because I know that it's going to cost me $20, and I know $20 is like not that much money, but you know, in the long run, I'm like, it's $20. I already paid $12 a month for Disney Plus, so I can just go home and wait 3 months. I don't really see it right away. You know what I mean? And even just like going out like on a night like with your friends to like go clubbing or whatever, it's not too bad. You know what I mean? Alcohol in Singapore is not cheap, and it's never been cheap. But I think more so now, you know, especially with everything that's been going on. So
I also think that like, you know, when it comes to going out with friends and stuff, I think for my age, because I'm 19 turning 20 this year, you know how like we are like moving up towards like the full-time job, but then I'm still part-timing and stuff, and how like hourly pay is like a range from $10 to $15 now, or even like lower 8. And if movie tickets are like $20, that's 2 hours of your hard work. And that's actually crazy, you know, like that's actually standing still, like doing stuff. Like,
Even like Grab, it's like maybe like $20.
that's right. Grab on its own, like transport from one place to another, it's already at least $20.
yeah.
And that's honestly crazy. And you know, I think that's insane. What do you think?
I think it's pretty expensive too. Like even like bus tickets right now is like at least like maybe like $2-3 too. It used to be like a few cents, from what I remember. So yeah. How about you, Ashton? Like, what do you like?
Right. So when I go with my friends, I spend money. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or do you think like when you ask your friends out for dinner, do you find them holding back because of like their income or like their financial statuses?
Okay. Firstly, all my friends are richer than me. Because there was this period of time I had 1 cent in my bank account, and then my friend sent me $10. So, yeah, thanks, Denzel. But the main thing is, if I'm broke and I have no money, I won't go out and spend money I don't have. So I won't ask my friends to go out, or I won't ask a girl to go out to eat dinner, because I don't have a date like McDonald's or KFC. You know, it's kind of stupid. Yeah, but if I have money and I ask my friends, then if they have money, they will agree. If they don't have money, then they won't agree. Yeah.
But it does affect, right? Like the people that you ask to go out.
Yeah, because some of my friends, I know that some of them have a tendency to not want to spend that much money on food. Or for example, if we are going for like to go Lang Cafe, some of them might not want to go to Lang Cafe. Some of them would rather spend their money on something more practical to them, be it like condoms or
But at least they're spending
maybe
on condoms.
subscriptions. Yeah.
At least they're spending on condoms to practice safe sex.
Yeah. Protection is very important. That's why you should get insurance.
Protect your wallet too.
Nowadays, the young people think very differently from the way we think. Okay, nowadays I look at young people, even before they earn money, they go out and Grab. Hey, you take your parents' money to Grab, please. When you earn money, then you Grab or you can buy car. For me, I think you all should go for the cheaper transport, like take the MRT. Even I take MRT when my husband cannot fetch me. You know, you ask me to Grab, no, I don't want to pay Grab. It's too expensive. Although I can afford, but I think it's not necessary. Then the other thing is actually the only concern I have about is housing. Housing is something is my biggest concern for the next generation. It's something a bit ridiculous until to the point I think most of you may not be able to afford without your parents' help.
Even rent
Yes.
is so hard to afford.
Yes, exactly.
Like, it's at
Housing
least
is
like
my
2,
main
3K.
concern. Car expensive, never mind, don't drive, you know.
Right.
But you need a house. So sometimes I think about housing, I get worried for the younger the younger generation.
I think
don't know.
some people are only earning enough just to pay for housing, not even talking about like living expenses.
How to buy a house, and then nowadays they talk about BTO, all this. Where to get the money? I think you have to pay something like
Down
20%
payment.
Yeah, you have to do a
or
down
something,
payment.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, just now I was sharing, during my days, you know how we started, when I and my husband, during our days when we propose, we don't say things like, hey, let's BTO or what. Okay, first thing is, let's apply for a flat. So we went to HDB, you know how much we paid? 100 Sing.
100.
Sing dollars. Of course, we have lah. Don't have only split one person 50, but that one my husband had lah.
I can't
We paid
$100.
$100. I remember we got a receipt. That's a deposit.
Yeah.
Okay, then when it's time they call you up, to time to take the key, then we went there. They check our CPF, how much you have. Okay, they take all your CPF money. The balance you loan. You loan according to how much you can pay. For example, my CPF, my husband's CPF, 1 month we contribute how much, then they will divide by how many months you can pay. You know, so it's definitely affordable for everyone. But nowadays, how? 20%. If you buy a flat, nowadays a flat, even a very not too expensive, with like $400,000. Let's say 300,000, 20% will be 60,000.
Yeah.
When a guy just come out to work, where to have $60,000 cash? You know? So
True.
definitely you'll need your parents' help.
So,
Yeah.
you know, when it comes to talking about housing, right? So I guess we all can agree that like the prices of real estate is very scary to us. So like how do you think you're coping with this issue? Or like, you know, your offsprings?
You know, I want to bounce back to what Amma was saying just now about you said that things like alcohol and, you know, the 5 C's, they're not essential and they're not. But again, what Kim said and how we coping, it's like, okay, when he comes out to work, maybe he's banking, he's got a great starting out pay, 5K a month. That's a year to get 60K to put a down payment for a BTO, but it's also like, out of the 5K, I'm not gonna, like, you're gonna set aside some of that 5K to give to my parents, to spend money on things that make life worth living. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, alcohol's not necessary, but you know what? Like, we're young. Like, we want to go out with our friends and have fun. You
Make
know,
the
that-
guys pay.
Whoa!
Is that like a thing now? I feel
If the
like-
guy cannot afford you a cup of wine, then don't go out with him.
But it's like, you don't, I mean, like, even when you just, like, go out with your friends, like, everyone goes Dutch, you know what I mean? And it's like, I think the things that we're doing to cope with the rising costs, like, you know, I mean, yes, we can be thrifty and we save, but it's like, if we cut back on everything that makes our life worthwhile, it's like, what are we saving for then? You know what I mean?
No,
It's
during, I was young once also. During my time, I also go disco. We don't
No,
call
I
it
love how it's
clubbing.
called disco
Yeah,
last
we,
time.
we call it disco. Yeah, we go, we also have to buy drinks, okay? Like
Yeah.
for the guys who can afford, they buy the ladies' drinks. For them, those we think they cannot afford, we will go Dutch. They will go Dutch. For me, I drink orange juice, which is the cheapest. I don't want to drink alcohol. Firstly, it's expensive. Secondly, I'm afraid I may lose control, you know, on myself. You go drunk, you don't know the guys who take advantage. So you have to 自爱 lah. You love yourself, you take care of yourself. So therefore, I don't drink. And doesn't mean that I didn't drink, I didn't enjoy. I enjoyed like mad. The dancing alone already made me go crazy. So
Show some
again,
moves.
you live within your means, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to live within your
I think
means.
it's a balancing act.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
true.
Like, yeah,
Yes.
maybe I'll take more, like 5 years then to save for a down payment for a BTO, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, we save, but you save for what? You know what I mean? You gotta have an end goal, right?
You
And
save
it's
to
like,
spend.
and it like in that 5 years and my entire life is just saving. Then, like, what's the point of the 5 years? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yes. And Yongkang, how about you? What do you have to say
What she
about
said.
this?
Yeah, I agree.
But I think one thing, no matter how like high the living standard in Singapore is, I think our government is doing a very good job because you don't really see like homeless people or like those like beggars on the streets like begging you for money as much as like in the Western countries.
Yes.
Like even though the government is doing something in those Western countries, but Singapore you don't really see them on the streets. You are safe to go out in the middle of the night at like 4
A
a.m.
homeless person will not chase you down. On the
Exactly.
Street. Yeah, true.
So
Ashton is so quiet. Ashton, are you struggling? Financially, are you struggling with this?
you can ask
living
TikTok Amma
standard?
for help.
This living standard. I mean, currently, not really because I have the support of my parents. You know, I'm still living under them, and I'm grateful for that. If you ask me if I'm struggling, honestly, no, because I'm very fortunate to be born into a very middle level family. So, I got a bed to sleep on. I got a roof over my head. I have money to eat. Yeah.
So you're basically born with a silver spoon. What about those people that like are not? Do you think that it would be like in their point of view, like do you think it's like really hard for them to like without the help of their parents? at your age?
He cannot imagine because
It's
he's
really very
born with a
hard.
golden spoon in his mouth. Okay, because I'm still working, so I do work with young people in my office, and when we eat together, I do talk to some of them. Some of them actually are more fortunate that they don't have to give the parents money because the parents either well-to-do or working. But I know of a few quite poor thing, they still have to give the parents money. So apart from the salary, they have to set aside for the parents, they have to set aside for their food, for their transport, and then in the end they are left with so little to save. So he was telling me that he has a girlfriend, they are planning to get married. So he said, I don't know how many years more I have to save. He's 27, I think 26, coming 27. His girlfriend same age. He was telling me he can wait for 6 years. He said, but by then my girlfriend very old, like 33, cannot give birth already, very old. She
That's
will be
not true.
She said will be a 高龄产妇, because after marriage they also need a few years more. So these are all the problems of people, worrying about setting up family, setting up having children. So you don't notice nowadays a lot of young couples get married on no children.
So with living standards so expensive in Singapore, I wonder how do Gen Zs actually cope with this issue? So let's hear from Ashton.
Actually, for me, it's quite easy, because I'm so handsome, right? So clearly, everybody wants to see what's under my pants. They want to know whether it's really big or whether it's really small. So actually, I had this guy who wanted
Does
to.
that help you to cope?
Yeah. I'll explain
He's
to
getting
you.
there.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Because it's very long, like my.
I thought it was
so-
only 1 inch.
Hmm?
I thought it's only 1 inch.
Long enough.
You want to find out?
No, thank you.
So, some guy wanted to buy my nude pictures, and I told him it was $250 for two, and he said that was too expensive. So it's not my problem, you're broke, but yeah. So he ended up, he wanted to send me his nude pictures. So he's a gay guy from the US. He wanted to send me his nude pictures, and since I'm not gay, I don't want to see that shit, right? So I told him he can pay me $40 per picture. And then he actually paid me $40 per picture for me to rate his ass pictures.
Some people don't even earn $40 per hour.
USD some more.
Yeah, some
Yeah, it was
people
US
earn,
dollars. So
$40 per
he sent
day.
me 2 pictures, and then I rated one of them a 9 out of 10 because the ass was like so round, and I rated another one a 8 out of 10.
So you really looked at the pictures.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, you're an honest.
He's an
person.
honest
I'm a
guy. I
very
love
honest
it.
man.
Did you write a thesis on it back for him?
I mean, I gave him some points. I told him his ass was round, the curvature
Constructive
very
feedback.
round. Yeah, and then I told him,
I mean, that's
like the
what
skin tone
$40
was pretty
worth
good.
for
Yeah,
him.
but
You
yeah,
specialize in ass?
I guess you could say
Do
that.
you have a certificate for that?
Amma just said ass.
Kenna, if you feel mine, you will know why.
You train, you train.
Yeah, my ass is like, the glutes can grip on that. Whoa, it's like squeeze the glutes.
Look at how terrified
I think even for
Dr.
my
Amma
case,
is.
as a Gen Z, I think it's also pretty okay to get money. Like even I have like fan house where people pay $25 a month to like listen to my feelings, and like I've like people be making like weird requests. Like there's this one person that actually asked me for that offered me $250 to touch my ear for 2 minutes.
Wait. But the person is next to you.
Yeah. So basically, he's just like, 2 minutes, just
$250.
yeah, to do that. Would you do that?
Wait, touch your own ear?
Yeah, like
Then you
as in
touch
for
my
him
ear,
to touch
touch
my
my
ear.
ear.
No. And like,
Then you should
Wait, I
say.
don't understand. He touched
Then
your
you should
ear.
say the other side. Then 500.
You should give discount. Then he won't even think.
yeah, and then like everything is marketable. Like you can sell your armpit pictures for like 750, or you can
Yeah.
sell like your socks for like 500 per sock, and you can even sell farts.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Really on?
I heard that there's like this OnlyFans girl that like sell her farts or like carbon dioxide. Like these, like who want to buy some? Yeah, like I mean, if you're popular and high in demand, people would buy anything you offer. Right? So that's why I think maybe that's why everyone now wants to be popular.
I'm not gonna faint really. I'm gonna get money. Amma, you're very popular, right? TikTok Amma. You want to
Nowadays-
sell your farts?
Yeah, weirdos. Yeah, weirdos.
Amma, sell me your fart. I buy.
Or you can
Do you
sell your
know
sweat
that
too.
I've been married to my husband for coming to 50 years next year? I have never farted once in front of him.
You can tell it's so high now.
Ama, no wonder guys these days say girls fart. No wonder guys don't believe girls fart.
Then you can sell your fart to your husband for $10,000.
Because it's rude to do it in front of your husband. I just feel it's rude. So normally I don't do that.
I fart in front of my TikTok audience.
I farted like just during this podcast alone. Right? I mean, it's just
No
let it
wonder it
out,
smells
man.
so bad. I'm kidding.
It's the tom yum I had for lunch. Okay, okay, Sherry, whatever.
I'm sorry. It was really interesting to hear from the floor today. What do you think?
I think so too. I think it's amazing how, given the living standards in Singapore and how it is so expensive, we all find our own means to cope. So let's hear it from the panelists. Anything else to say?
I think my 2 cents on this topic are, spend wisely, but don't let it take away from the things that bring you enjoyment in life, because that's the way to live every day.
Yeah. What about you, Yonghang?
I agree with what she said.
And Ashton?
$50 can buy you 5 KFC meals, but it can also buy you 2 pictures of my feet.
And what about you, Amma?
Save as much as you can and spend within your means.
And so we've come to the end of today's episode of Keeping It Real. And once again, my name is Sherry.
My name is Kimberly.
And I also like to thank Matilda, Yongkang, Ashton, and TikTok Amma. And until next time of Keeping It Real.
Bye!
Bye.